Well, hi, my name's Kathy Leach. I'm a friend of Karl Forehands. I'm a spiritual director, grandmother of 13, and a mystic. Going forward for me on my path has been learning about what it means to be a contemplative. And I define contemplative the way Richard Rohr does. It's a long, loving look at the real. And I'm starting to equate real with whole. A long, loving look at the whole, the real. And to do that, I have to not go with my mechanical, that's not a mechanical way of being, because I've been programmed to think certain ways and act certain ways, and contemplation requires something different. Requires me to observe myself, like an inner witness, to observe myself, and to learn how to not identify with everything that comes up in me. Some things are negative emotions. They had their time, but they're not useful anymore. So non-identification, and then self-remembering. So trying to always be living in the present, not identified with what some would call programs for happiness, being aware and just staying grounded with that truest part of me, that essence of me, that Christ in me. I've had to develop practices, and I heard it said once that practices, it's actually Cynthia Bourgeault. Practices are beautiful friends that accompany us and trick us until we learn to just be, until we trust ourselves, and that we should trust ourselves to find these practices. You know, when the student's ready, the teacher comes, and that the people that are the most practiced at self-acceptance are the enlightened ones. And so I have to keep working on that. Maybe you do too. So for me going forward, I'm going to reclaim some from the past. I don't just start off and leave everything behind. There are things to reclaim. But then there's new things too. For example, I'm learning a lot about chakras and energy work. Faith traditions from our past and present, they all have these common universal truths. That really, really excites me. So as we go forward, I think we're going to be seeing more and more of that coming together of these truths, because there are deep truths there are truths I've come to know that are older than me, and they will continue on because they're universal truths. It's going to take deep communion, really, really deep communion. And that communion, for me lately, has even involved a cloud of witnesses. I was a Protestant for 36 years. And so to talk about the cloud of witnesses, the way I'm talking about it now would have been heresy, but oh, the freedom and the love and beauty that I've seen from engaging with this cloud of witnesses. I used to call it my circle of care, and I draw it out. My teachers, Alexander Shai is one of my teachers. He's coming to you during this program. But all those that are supporting me, have ever supported me, and ever will support me, my circle of care, but this great cloud of witnesses involves my ancestors. It could be, and these are spirit guides. Yes, I'm talking spirit guides. So, of course, there's going to be challenges. The challenges are equally as beautiful, exploring them if a person wants to look at it that way, like opportunities instead of problems. But challenges I see are primarily, number one, I would say fear. I got this cute little Zen book, Zen companion book, little quote by Carl Jung. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And then just losing sight. We get distracted. We lose sight. There's so many things. We get offended, distracted, lose sight of the holy ideas, the holy plans, our essence. We lose sight. Did you know that the mystics have a whole different definition of sin than what a lot of us were taught? Nothing to do with morality or purity codes or anything like that, but these are challenges to us. And so the mystics say things like that sin is the failure to see the beauty in oneself and others. They say that sin is misdirected love. And also that sin is willful ignorance. Been thinking about that song, Wade in the Water. God's going to trouble the water. There's no way to go around it or over it. You have to go through it. So that is probably the biggest challenge that I noticed about myself and that I noticed about other people. Well, so my hope is that we can, through our contemplation and our accessing all these different ways of knowing now, that we can begin to start with the whole. We tend to start with the pieces and then try to figure out what the whole is supposed to look like. But Jesus the Christ didn't do that. He started with the whole. And he began, and that we would see a new creation story, one that doesn't begin with original sin, but instead original blessing, a whole new creation story that we tell ourselves and tell others. And so that starting with the whole, I mean, imagine if you were going to put together a puzzle, but you never saw the cover of the box. You just had all these pieces, but you didn't know what it was supposed to look like. Versus you see the picture first, you see the whole, you get it, you get the story. You want to be a part of it. You want to play your part, be engaged in it. But my hope is that we'll follow our nudgings. That's one of the best pieces of advice anyone ever gave me. Just follow your nudgings, Kathy. Nudgings toward beauty, nudgings toward love. Just start with whatever is near and let it flow out from there. Maybe you just plant some flowers. Maybe you care for an animal. Maybe you work on your own health. It doesn't matter. Just start where you're at and let it flow out from there, but follow the nudgings that say yes to beauty and to love. You know, since we're considering climate change and all this now, the earth is asking for us to engage and to notice and to connect. And so my hope is that we'll let Mother Earth, some call her Gaia, hold and support us. I would like to read you the lyrics to a song that means a lot as we're closing, dear listeners. And the words of the song are, "We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time that we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. And what a time to be alive. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. And then I have a prayer for you. I pray that you will become who you already are. I pray that you would know that you're not alone. I pray that you would connect deeply to community and other sources of wisdom. That you would take your inner work seriously, but learn to laugh at yourself as well. That you would express yourself fully. That you would practice holy listening with yourself, with others, and with the sound of the divine in all that is. I pray that you will flow in the highest frequency vibration of gratitude for all of your experiences. And I pray that you would realize that all of those experiences are invitations from love. And I'm just really happy that Karl trusted me to share with you today. Thank you.